Greetings, fellow humans. 11 March 2023, 8:13 a.m. fake time. I like my blue. It's one of my favorite shades of blue, these deep blues, and I like them glassy. I had that onion over there start sprouting in the vegetable drawer, so I just said, hey, why not? So that is a Dollar Tree plastic cup made in China. I've had that. I had 4 of those originally. 2 I gave away to a friend. And then I decided I don't like drinking out of plastic cups. It was more so protection because of my depth perception issues. I have granite countertops in the kitchen, so I have broken quite a bit of glass. Yeah, all the issues with breaking glass. Little bits remaining. I've ended up once with a little piece of glass in my foot. It got away. So, at any rate, it's Friday the 11th. I love the 11th, 12th, and 13th, and the 13th, of course, is my favorite day of the month. Wondering if any birds will come through here. I have not put any seeds out or oatmeal, which I may do later. What was left of my large orchid did end up finally dying a few days ago after the pipe explosion here in the living room. It's sending steam for 2 days, at least 2 days into the apartment. I decided the garlic sprouted, so gave one to Kylie Marina and gave her an onion as well. So again, what I've been doing is recycling, reusing, repurposing things. So the cup is getting used as a planter, and then I took the base of the Starbucks cup, put some holes in it, and use that as a liner for the time being, and then, I'll create something else. I use a styrofoam daily here. I'm going to have to water that. And so, yeah, I'm looking for a document, and I have thrown stuff all over the place. This was just not like me. I'm in a mood where I'm feeling very impatient, and I haven't been receiving people who are in a position where it is their job to be helping me through this process after the damage to my apartment. For some unknown reasons, everybody is being uncooperative, aloof and distant, non-communicative, and quite frankly, I don't know what to make of that. The first thing that comes to mind is that it's just the common nature these days that everybody's avoiding anything that is even slightly uncomfortable or even the slightest discomfort in an interaction, in a situation. I've been wanting to make this statement for quite a while. Avion-Marie. So my intention is I was going back into this apartment, and originally my intention was that I wanted to stay here. Now I don't want this management company to have the benefit of my life force through my $1,025 a month in rent. And so the apartment, I decided my living space was going to intentionally represent anything that flies. Avion. Avion means flyer in French. The word Marie, Mariah, Marie, Mary, Maria, they all have their root in an ancient mariner's term. I believe it's Greek. But Marie, at its root, it was a mariner's term, and it means the wind. So all those variations of Marie, Mary, Mariah, Mariah means the wind. And so Avion-Marie means wind flyer. I had asked my spirit guides and my angels and God to give me a spirit name. And what I had learned up until that point before I asked is that we're guided to see certain things. And so I was walking down Century Boulevard near LAX, and I look up at the street sign. And I remember the moment, why did I even look up? But just something said look up, and I did. And the street name is Avion. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And so I sat down and got online and did the wiki. And wow, roots, French, or maybe even further back, meaning flyer. And so I looked up to see if there were any airlines named. There was an Avion Express that operated somewhere. And there is a company out there that is named Avion, and they're in some sort of aviation-related services. So, and I thought, hey, how about an airline named Avion Airways? And so my love has always been, since I wasn't originally. I thought when I was in my early 20s, in my late teens and early 20s, I thought that I would go live in Arizona because of the desert and Sedona. I had read about all of that. And there's a part of me that just wanted to be in the warmer climate. I knew I had very severe allergies, what we called hay fever back in the day, not seasonal allergies, hay fever. And I didn't like taking any of the medications that over-the-counter or prescription. It didn't matter. It's toxic, felt weird. I'd end up throwing this stuff away and just dealing with it. And eventually the allergies did go away. Our bodies do build up resistance to things if we allow it to, if we don't get in the middle of the process that the body goes through to build up its strength. So I very rarely have seasonal allergies now anymore here in the Midwest, but I knew back then in my teens that people were saying, oh, you should move to the Southwest because they don't have all the dander and all the tree pollen and all the grass pollen and all that stuff. And I mean, it was so severe, my eyes would swell up, my face would break out in hives, I would get nosebleeds. It was a very miserable part of my childhood. Wanted to be outside in the summertime, to be in the warmth and in the sun, and could only get out. It was torture. It really was. I'm not going to downplay that. It was downright miserable. And I don't think anybody even adequately understood just how horrible that was. My parents certainly weren't going to do anything to, they took me to the doctor to get the fucking meds, which I instantly, a day later, flushed down the toilet. So it's neither here nor there, but that's all gone away. And once I did vacation in Arizona, I knew that I wanted to live out there. And that's where I thought I was going to go. So on my very last exploration trip of Arizona, I took my boyfriend at the time. It was my first boyfriend, Bryant. I planned a very long trip because it was the summer after my father passed away in 1995. And I'd realized that, wow, we're going to run out of things to do. So I called America West Airlines at the time, which had its headquarters in Phoenix, and called their vacation arm. And a woman got really excited. I said, hey, look, I'm going to be in the Phoenix area for about 2 weeks, and I got a little bit of extra money. Can you put me and the boyfriend on a plane somewhere, short? And I'm thinking, there's a whole lot of different places that are an hour plane ride away or less. Vegas. We did end up driving up to Vegas, but she was like, oh my God, we just put together this new package today, and it's $300 per person. It includes the plane ticket to San Diego and back. And it's 2 nights at the Del Coronado Hotel. And she goes, do you know what that is? I go, I don't have the slightest. What is that? She goes, the Del Coronado Hotel is historic. It's a wood frame hotel. It's the only hotel built on the ocean on the whole coastline of California. And it is a place where many stars and celebrities have been, and they filmed the movie Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe. I was like, oh, let's go. Let's do it. And for me, it was just exciting. My boyfriend was having withdrawals because he didn't have his weed with him. Boy, that was a learning experience for me. I don't want weed smokers in my life. I don't care. You guys, it's not being judgmental. It's making a healthy judgment for myself. The mood swings. I have to face reality, mostly unmedicated, and that's how I adjust and adapt to this environment that we live in, and that's just the nature of life. When you're medicating with alcohol or drugs or marijuana, which I don't consider a drug, it's supposed to be used for spiritual purposes, and it's not. It's being misused, and now the cabal has jumped on this. They're making tax money, but they're also medicating the public, getting ready to go in for the kill and perpetrate their tyranny on us, which they started to. This get you prepared with the lockdowns, right? Under the guise of a virus that they released on us. At any rate, so I'll never forget the plane ride flying from Phoenix into San Diego. I could see the mountains on one side and the ocean on the other as we landed at Lindbergh Field in San Diego, and I knew right then and there. I'm getting angel bumps right now, up and down my arms, just thinking about it. I knew that I was going to live in California. What I saw that day when I flew in, I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know what I didn't even know. And the boyfriend ruined that trip with his moods, ended up sleeping in the hotel room. I thought it was going to be something fun and maybe even romantic. It turned out to be nothing like that. He was a bastard. He was behaving like a bastard at the time. I don't know what kind of person he is today, but everybody has the opportunity to change. And but I knew I was going to San Diego. I broke up with him a few months later. And this was in July, and I broke up with him in September because it was just too much. His alcohol, he's showing up drunk, high, and jealous. And my spidey sense was tingling that something was going on. And I'll end the story there with Bryant. Seems like 9 months is the magic number for me. That's where I get to the point where I realize that, have realized that whoever I was dating has usually turned out to be somebody who's not in it for the same reasons that I am. A commitment, a life partner, love, romance, adventure, and someone who is going to share the journey with you and be there with you. And I've been tricked quite a bit. I even had one guy after the fact say, I don't think I broke up with him, and I don't think he broke up with me. I think he just let it languish, and it just kind of fell apart. And when I ran into him at some point in the months after I realized it definitely was over, I probed him and I pushed, and I said, why did you tell me that you wanted to be with me, and you pursued me, and you chased me down, and you told me everything I wanted to hear, and then you just let it all die? And he said, well, I just wanted my turn. I spent 3 days pretty depressed after that. You know, I didn't find it to be anything flattering. So somebody wanted, what am I, an amusement park ride? Merry-go-round? Roller coaster? I'm a human being. And I have feelings, and I'm not ashamed to express my feelings. I was telling my new spiritual sister, Kylie Marina, yesterday. She said, "You're quite an affectionate guy." And I go, "Yeah, I know that. I'm in touch with that. I'm aware of that. And I role model being an affectionate male, appropriately affectionate male, because we have a problem in our world that is a cycle that keeps being repeated. Little boys are cut off from their fathers because relationships fail. And then the mother is left in a situation where she's working so hard that she may be very affectionate with the boy, but the boy doesn't have any examples of a healthy, naturally affectionate male figure, a father figure. And that is one blessing that I feel I have in my life. My friend, my new spiritual sister, she was shocked to find out. I'm not an affectionate guy because of my mother. It is quite, frankly, the extreme opposite. This woman was cold and harsh and brutal with me and my brothers. And the fact that she had boys made it even more, in her sick mental world, her low-functioning mental health, she would rationalize that she didn't have to be kind or gentle or loving because we were boys. Boys are supposed to be tough. Boys can take it. Boys are supposed to have feelings. And I was the sensitive child. But I learned rather quickly as I started to get older, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, that, oh, my own mother is going to abuse me if I display too much sensitivity and too much affection. She was unresponsive to it. It was my father. It was my father. God rest his soul. It didn't matter what time this man came in from his job. He worked 60 to 80 hours a week, 2 jobs. My mother, that crazy, can't understand natural thinking bitch. She didn't understand that this man was exhausted. He was doing everything in his power to put a roof over our head. He wanted his wife and his sons to live in a house. He didn't want us to grow up in an apartment. And we had a house. It wasn't perfect. And she constantly harped on all the little flaws and imperfections. Her madness, her fucking insanity. Never appreciated one goddamn thing. Spoiled fucking brat. Baby girl spoiled by her father over in Germany because her mother was brutal with her. Cycle repeats. So she was brutal with her own children. But it was my dad. He'd come in from work at night. And there was always a hug. There was always a kiss on the cheek. And then if we were in bed already, Dad would pray with us. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. My dad always did that with us until I was about 13 years old. And he just became increasingly more exhausted, and he became increasingly more depressed because my mother was just such a raging, flaming bitch. He couldn't even walk in the door. I think that there were times that the man was afraid to come home because he just would not get any peace in his own fucking home. So I always, until my father died, always, every time we parted ways, my father would get up and walk to the door with me. He would give me a hug and he would say, "I love you, son." So I didn't understand it at the time. There's a part of me that took some of that for granted. And maybe that's the message today, folks. Don't take the I love yous for granted. If someone tells you I love you and you hear it over and over again from them, maybe it becomes like a broken record. But maybe today we could all stop and pause. And each time, if you are so blessed to hear the words I love you, because it makes me fucking want to cry. I started several weeks ago just randomly asking that question to people. And I did it again the other day, sitting with the attorney. Has anybody told you that they love you today? He asked, do I have any final questions for him? And I go, yeah, I got 2. Has anybody told you that they love you today? And he paused, and I could see the tear in the corner of his eye. And he said, no. I said, well, I love you. I haven't had anybody organically tell me they love me in years. Not even the boyfriend that I was with for 2.5 years. If I didn't say it, he never said it. And I, like my dad, I made sure that every time I hung up the phone with him, every time we parted ways, I told him that I loved him, even though I knew that something was terribly wrong. So that lives on his soul. Not that I think that I'm any more special than anybody else, but I never thought that I never imagined. Never judge a book by its cover, you know. Really nice appearance, generally easygoing. Oh, as long as he doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. That's when the problems started. When you gotta get up off your dead ass and clean the fucking house. Or maybe bring your boyfriend a glass of water, not even once. Not even once. And all the meals that I prepared. And I took care of him when all his little fucked up little fucking baby ailments. His fucking hemorrhoids. What were you sticking up your ass, dude? I'm sorry, folks. I'm keeping it real. I've got serious physical health issues. And I have a partner who bizarrely tells me over the phone, this is it. We're going to stay together for the rest of our lives. And I said, really? We haven't even lived together. I don't know how you could say that. I can't even, I don't want to shoot you down, but I can't even say that I agree with you because I know better. You and I need to live together in the same box for 12 months to find out if we can make that work. No, I don't want to live apart from my partner. I've heard of couples who, you know, they're legally married, heterosexual couples. I don't buy that shit. I want my fucking partner in my bed with me at night. I want to wake up and smell his fucking morning breath. Give me that fucking deranged, deluded, and call me delusional for wanting to live together? No. No. So, California. And that's where Khalifa, go look it up on the wiki. And maybe if I remember to, I'll put the link in the description for this video. So it's spelled with a K. And, you know, as they do with everything else, this cabal, they inverted and changed it to a C to steer future generations away from knowing who Khalifa was. Warrior, goddess, Native American, who led 1,000 Native Americans into battle with the Spaniards. Huge battle. She was a fierce goddess. And she was their leader. And that is what the word California means. It means leader. So when I read that, I was like, oh, I'm putting this all together. Avion-Marie, California, with a K. And all together, my spirit name means leader who flies on the wind. And that is who I am, and that is what I do. I love it. I mean, this last trip that I took to Boston, oh my God. I just loved being in Logan Airport. I had such a good time. And I am conjuring some ideas. Yeah. All of this and this betrayal and the angels and my spirit guides have gotten me away from these people who were toxic and harmful. And I was told now to just stay away from them, as well as do not invite similar types into my life. And so I'm not going to. I feel really, really burned, but not bitter. I feel like I have really learned that you can't have it both ways. You can't have good people in your life who are not toxic and toxic people in your life. And if you don't know better about it, it's okay, it's understandable, and you're forgiven. But once you know better and you're still choosing to settle for some reason for that one toxic person, even if it is, like for me, I justified it and rationalized it because, oh, it's my mother. I'm supposed to take care of her. And she's, even if she's damaged, oh, no, 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 no. She did major, major damage and left me out on the street and talked about me behind my back and told people that she was embarrassed and ashamed of me when I had legitimate health problems that caused me to lose my job. I had legitimate issues that my father met when he was in his 40s where they don't want to hire us white men because we're too smart. We command too much money. We might have families, actually. They want these young Latino women or others who will take anything out of desperation. And then, that I've worked in those environments where it's just so toxic with all that novella drama, toxic. Yeah. Thank God I don't ever, it's not even an option. I'll go back to living on the streets before I ever take a slave wage job again. Ever. And I'm not going to an indoctrination camp. I don't need a fucking piece of paper. I'm valid because I was born. And I got my degree, baby. As Edwin Gaines said, the 4 laws of abundance. You got your degree from MSU. And that's not MSU in Michigan. That's where we make shit up. MSU. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is all made up shit. All the money, monopoly money. We ain't taking any of it with you. You can try to stick that diamond up your ass the day you die. But that diamond ain't going with you to the other side. And if you don't believe there's another side, well then, that's your right to believe that too. I will defend your right to believe, to have your beliefs, and to have your opinion. So, and if I have to make the statement here, all of this stuff are my opinions, and they're my right to have. And if you disagree with my opinions, that's fine. I may disagree with yours. But I will stand up for you, and I will defend your right to have your opinion. As long as you don't try to harm me. I'm not trying to harm you. I'm just giving you a different perspective to consider and to think about. That's all. So, yeah. I got one more document to find for this attorney. We didn't say our prayer this morning. Let's see. Angels go before me, angels come behind. Angels to my left, angels to my right. Angels above and angels below. I'm safe and protected everywhere I go. I'm paying attention. I'm participating in the process. I'm trying to have a good attitude. I am passionate about my life. I know that I have a right to communicate. I know that I have a right to exercise my First Amendment rights. That's something we're going to do, folks. Put the app in your phone. Go to the App Store. Get one of those apps with the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. We are out of touch with our rights and responsibilities, our civic rights and responsibilities as American citizens, and people are taking advantage of us. People are trampling on us and our Constitution. I don't know what they're teaching the kids in school these days but I had to study and memorize every single one of the amendments and the preamble and all that stuff. And sadly, I don't remember any of it. But I do have 2 apps in the phone that I'm reviewing right now. And I think one of the projects I want to do with this channel, with all of you, is I want to go through every single part of the Constitution and every single amendment and feel out what it means to me. And maybe you'll join me in that journey, and we'll all come away knowing something more. Better people. So, Avion-Marie getting ready to sign off. I still don't have a working stove. I'm leaving this apartment regardless on the 31st of March is what I've decided. And if I get the help and cooperation of the people who are supposed to be helping me, if I don't have a satisfactory unit to move into on the 1st of April or the 31st of March. Then I will place all my things in storage. Or I'll just fucking sell everything. I don't give a fuck, but I am not staying here. They are not getting another month's rent from me. And if I have to, I will go sleep on the street again. Avion-Marie signing off. I love you. Namaste.